Hey guys, welcome to the Vanity Mirror. I gave a little teaser on Instagram that I got something new from Sephora, and today I am going to show you that product. That product is, drum roll please. I suck at drum rolls. The Kat Von D Shade and Light Glimmer Eye Contour Palette. Kat Von D came out with a Shade and Light eye contour palette that was all mattes, I believe, and this one is actually all shimmers. There's no mattes in this palette, so you'll need to dip into another palette for it. That's the first thing that I will say about that before even opening the package. It is all shimmers, so dip into some mattes elsewhere, unless you just want some shimmer all over the lid, which sometimes is really nice for a simple day. Well, why don't we go ahead and get right into this. So this is a first impressions video / swatches, and I'm going to do a little bit of a wear test for you. Also, it won't be like an 8-hour long day because I'm filming at night, but it'll definitely be a few hours. So here's what the packaging, first of all, looks like, and it has this. It's probably blinding you, so I'm sorry. It says Shade and Light Glimmer, and it's so pretty. It's this gold. It kind of reminds me of Goosebumps, like choose your own ending chapter books. Did any of you ever have those, and do you remember what I'm talking about? Like that shimmery cover? Let me know in the comments below. And the back has the name of all of the colors. It's in this little cardboard thing here. Here is what it looks like in the same like Kat Von D kind of sexy, edgy look to the packaging. Here's what that looks like. And then again on the back it has the name of all of the colors, which I'm grateful for because it'd be really annoying to have to keep this just for the names. Why don't we open this puppy up? I will say, as soon as I open it, they're not all like glitters. There's definitely some glittery, really shimmery colors, and then there's some more kind of like demi-matte, like just kind of a satin, kind of like a gleam to it. I can see that just by looking at these, but there are no mattes from what I can tell. Here's what the palette looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and show you swatches. This is the first time I'm touching it, so I'll also tell you how it goes as I am dipping my finger in it. Okay, so it's a little, the one I'm touching right now is a little powdery feeling, but it's silky, so it's kind of like got a silky powder feel to it. By the way, you guys, I like suck at arm swatches, so sorry about it. Okay, and then the second color I touched was a lot silkier, and oh man, it looks nice. I can't wait to show you. This is my first Glimmer one. Ooh, it feels a little chalky, it's a little chunky. So freaking pigmented. Like I could probably do 3 arm swatches with what I just did. I think that's just how the glitters are in here. They're very chunky, but they're probably gonna have fallout. So even though I do have my makeup done other than my eyes today, I probably would typically want to use this before doing my face makeup because I think with some of the like really shimmery colors there's gonna be some fallout. So let me show you the first little group right now. On the far left, that is the color Porcelain. And then next in is the color Copper, and then that's the color Bronze, that big, beautiful brown swatch there. And then the white glittery one is called Sterling. Okay, let's check out the next group here. Wow, these satin colors are actually really gorgeous and could potentially be used in place of a matte. So I kind of take it back that you absolutely have to dip into another palette for your mattes because I really do feel like those could work. Okay, so our next row, we have that 5th one in from the left there is called Dusk. And then that really dark, beautiful brown that's not quite as glimmery as the other one is called Cinder. The black is called Onyx, and then that white shimmery color on the end is called Glacier. Okay, and the last 4 that you see right there are Dune, Rust, Jasper, and Quartz. Holy moly, this is such a gorgeous palette. I told you I suck at swatches, by the way. Okay, you guys, I can tell you that already I'm so in love with the formula for the most part of these and the colors. Oh, so far, I say that you actually could probably make a whole look out of these because the satins have like zero glitter in them. They just have a very satiny, shiny finish, but no glitter whatsoever. I think that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna make a whole look using this palette, not makeup, eyeshadow. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and I'm going to zoom you into my face a little bit while I do my eyeshadow. And then at the end of the video, I will give you all my thoughts on how it applied and what I think of the colors and all of that jazz. That jazz. Oh, that's gonna be way too low. You're looking at my boobs, aren't you? You're looking at my boobs. Okay. Okay, let's do this thingy. I'm gonna start by priming my eyes with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer portion. This is what I always use with eyeshadow, so I want it to be a fair judgment of how the eyeshadow wears. Just like I always do, I'm going to set my eyes, and I'm going to use the shade Porcelain, which is this one, that one right there. Next, I am going to go into the shade Dune, which is that one right there. And put that all over my crease and bring it down to the outer corner. And bring this pretty high and be kind of sloppy with it. So far, that's not coming across very pigmented, I'm noticing. I just don't see a whole lot for how dark it looks in the pan. I will say that despite the lack of pigmentation, it is going on the eye really silky and blending really, really well. So that's good. Next, I'm gonna go into this one right here in this corner, and that is the color Copper. And I'm gonna go over the top of what I just did with that. Using this Morphe brush from their little blue kit that they have. The brush doesn't technically have a name, sorry. Even though this isn't matte, it just looks so pretty on the eyes. It really, really performs well. So now I want to go even a little bit darker, and I think I have a little bit of a vision for the specific look I want, so I can use as many colors as possible. So I'm going to go into this darker brown right here, and that is called Cinder. And I'm basically going to take just a even smaller crease brush, and I'm going to go over the outer corners and drag it just slightly in. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the edges a little bit here, just where some went a little low for me. Now I want to do a shimmer color on the lid. Oh, I'm so excited. So I think I'm gonna start by putting a little bit more base down on the lid itself so that the glitter can adhere to it. And I'm trying to decide, and I'm pretty sure that I want to go into this color right here, which is called Quartz. And Quartz really reminds me, like looking at it, of Chopper from the Naked 2 palette. Now that I have a little bit extra primer down, I'm going to use this brush from Morphe to dip into that shadow that I showed you, and I'm just going to pack it onto the lid. It's not quite packing as much of a punch as I was hoping it would, so maybe getting it wet would be a little bit better of an option. I think I'll just do that on the other eye, and that way we can also see how long it lasts with putting extra primer down versus getting the shadow wet. I think that looks really, really pretty. These shadows blend very, very well together. I barely had to do anything to blend that. I'm just going to dip into that darkest color a little bit more, not much at all, and just kind of blend a little bit more right here. And also I'm looking under my eyes, and there is a tiny bit of fallout, which I kind of already suspected would be the case. I don't have MAC Fix Plus, so I'm going to be using the Urban Decay All Nighter Spray. I'm going to go ahead and get my brush wet. Now that I've done it 2 different ways on both lids, I like them both. I think they both look really nice. I think it's just a touch more intense on the side with the wet brush versus the extra primer. What do you guys think? I'm going to add a little bit extra like color to the lower lash line. I'm going to use that same brush we used to put glitter. I'm going to clean it off a little bit. And I'm going to dip into this gorgeous, I just can't not use it. I have to use this color Rust. Okay, so I'm going to take it on the edges of this brush. And I'm going to smoke it on the lower lash line, really close to the lashes. I like how that looks. This look is dramatic, but I really like it. I had to try out these shadows. I'm going to take this big pencil brush and I'm going to dip it into the darkest color that we used. And I'm going to put that just on the outer edge, just right here. Next, I'm going to do the inner corner, and I feel like this color here is just screaming to be my inner corner highlight, and that is the color Glacier. This shade is also very, very, very glittery, not so much a pigment as it is just a glitter, so you might want to get your brush wet for this too. Yeah, it's just falling off my eyes. So I just got my brush wet and I'm going to try again. I mean, I have an inner corner highlight. I just usually have a more pigmented inner corner highlight than that. Okay, so there isn't really anything in this palette that I would typically use as a brow bone highlight. I am going to attempt to use this color Sterling as a brow bone highlight. It might be a little intense for a brow bone highlight, but we will give it a try. Actually, that's really pretty. I really like that. I wasn't expecting to think that looked pretty, but it has a very pearlescent finish to it. Okay guys, well that's the whole eye look. I'm gonna go throw on mascara, lashes, and I will be right back to my normal zoom to tell you my thoughts on this palette. Okay, well the lashes did not go super well, but I do think this look looks really nice because it's kind of a dramatic look. I think it looks really nice with lashes. In a few hours from now, I will do a check-in for you guys to show you how the eyeshadow is lasting on my eyes. When I do the check-in, I probably won't be wearing the lashes anymore. That way you can really see how the eyeshadow looks on the eyes. So my final thoughts on this palette. I think that the one thing that really stood out to me about this palette is so easy to blend. I didn't really have to fight it very hard. Everything was gorgeously seamless as it blended together in blended bliss. It was wonderful. I loved it. I really like the shimmer shade that I used. You will definitely not be able to just do it on its own. You're gonna need to get your brush wet. You're gonna want to use concealer. You're gonna want to use extra primer, or maybe even glitter glue, because it almost just seems like a pressed glitter. But when you work with it really well and you get it on your eyes, I think it looks gorgeous on the eyes. I really like the two lighter colors. It was Sterling and Glacier. I use them for my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight. I would say that even though I love the color Sterling, it might be a little too glittery for the brow bone highlight. In the moment when I was doing it, I thought it looked really nice, but I think it might be just a little too much, but maybe not for like going out. I will say that the pigmentation is really good on some and not as good on others. Like the color Dune was really hard to build up. It blended wonderfully, but it just wasn't super pigmented. The color Rust was very pigmented. It's what I put on my lower lash line. And I didn't use Onyx, which was the black shiny color, but it was definitely not very pigmented. I imagine it would get a little patchy. So you guys, I am gonna go ahead and sign off for now, and I'm going to come back in a few hours and show you how the eyeshadow is looking. I will insert my future self right now and then come back for the outro. Hey guys, so it is about midnight right now. When I filmed the video earlier, it was probably about 6, so I thought that I would do a check-in since it's been about 6 hours. I hung out, ate dinner, took a nap, and even went out for a couple drinks with my husband, went for a walk to the place where we had a couple drinks, and then walked home, and even like hung out at home for a little bit before doing this check-in. I'm so tired right now. Do a little bit of a close-up. First of all, Disclaimer, I didn't do that great with putting on the lashes earlier, so there's some lash glue mess happening all over the lids, but other than that, you should be able to tell how the eyeshadow itself is doing. So first of all, I will, looking in the view here, I can see that the inner corners are still pretty bright, so that's good to see. There might be like a little bit of messiness on the edges here. I'm looking at the view so I can see how it looks. You can see like some of my lash glue mishaps. There's maybe a little bit of fading in the crease area where I had done some blending through the crease, but I mean, like, there's like no creasing in the glitter area of the makeup, which is amazing for 6 hours. Like, usually a lot of makeup, by about the 6th hour I start to see crease lines, especially because I have hooded eyes. For having hooded eyes, I mean, that is pretty amazing. Like, there's like a little bit starting maybe like right there, but it's looking pretty good for a 6-hour check-in. All right, guys, now to the outro. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this first impressions wear test review of the Kat Von D Shade and Light Glimmer Eye Contour Palette. I plan on doing a lot more videos like this in the future, like every month, maybe doing a brand new product review thing, like first impressions thing like this. So I hope you guys like it. Please give it a thumbs up if you like videos like this. And then please subscribe before you leave by hitting that tempting red button right down below the video. You know where it is. You see it. I know you see it. Alright guys, see you later. Good work. Good work. Yeah. Oh. Breathe. Breathe, Ellie. Breathe. It sounded a little sexual, sorry. Oh. With the Urban Decay. I blanked.